You know that feeling when someone's trying to make you question your own reality? When you're absolutely certain about something, but they somehow make you doubt yourself? Today, we're diving into the world of manipulation, how to spot it, how to stop it, and most importantly, how to protect yourself from those who use it.
And it's such a crucial topic because manipulation isn't always obvious. It's not like in the movies where there's dramatic music playing in the background when the bad guy shows up.
Right? It's usually way more subtle than that. And I think that's what makes it so dangerous.
Exactly. According to recent research, manipulation often starts with something that seems completely innocent, like excessive flattery or getting too close too quickly.
Wait, so you're saying even something that feels positive could be a red flag?
Absolutely. Psychology Today recently published findings showing that manipulators often use what's called love bombing, overwhelming someone with affection and attention early on.
That's actually pretty scary when you think about it. Because who doesn't want to feel special and appreciated?
And that's exactly what makes it so effective. But here's something interesting. Manipulators aren't actually more skilled than us at manipulation.
Really? How so?
Well, according to Dr. Jennifer Degler's research, they just practice their manipulation skills all day long, while most of us don't need to practice detecting manipulation because most people aren't trying to take advantage of us.
That's actually kind of reassuring in a weird way. It's not that we're bad at spotting it, we just haven't had as much practice.
Exactly. And speaking of spotting it, one of the most common forms of manipulation is gaslighting, where someone makes you question your own reality.
Oh yeah, I've heard that term thrown around a lot lately. But what does it actually look like in practice?
Well, recent studies show it often involves denying things that clearly happened, or telling you you're being too sensitive when you react to their behavior.
That sounds familiar. I think we've all experienced that at some point.
And here's what's fascinating. Research from Yale's Center for Emotional Intelligence shows that manipulation is, at its core, a power play. The goal is always control.
So how do we protect ourselves? What are the actual practical steps we can take?
Well, one of the most effective strategies, according to recent psychological research, is something that might surprise you: staying emotionally neutral.
Wait, what? Not fighting back?
Exactly. Because manipulators thrive on emotional reactions. When you stay neutral, you're essentially cutting off their power supply.
That's actually brilliant, but I imagine it's pretty hard to do in practice.
It is, but here's another key finding. You can experience emotions internally while choosing not to display them externally.
Sort of like creating an emotional firewall.
Exactly. And research shows this approach significantly reduces a manipulator's ability to control situations.
You know what's interesting? This reminds me of how villains are portrayed in movies now. They're often manipulators who prey on emotional responses.
That's a fascinating observation, and it reflects how our understanding of manipulation has evolved. But let's talk about another crucial defense: boundaries.
Ah, yes, the B word that everyone talks about, but nobody seems to know how to actually set.
Recent studies show that clear, consistent boundaries are actually one of the most effective defenses against manipulation. But you're right, they're not easy to establish.
So, what's the key to setting good boundaries?
According to clinical research, it's about being clear and consistent. No mixed signals. If you say no to something, stick to it.
That makes sense. But what about when manipulators try to make you feel guilty about your boundaries?
That's where something interesting comes in. Research shows that guilt tripping is actually one of the most common manipulation tactics.
Really? Tell me more about that.
Well, studies indicate that manipulators often use what's called emotional blackmail, making you feel responsible for their emotions or reactions.
Oh, like when someone says, if you really cared about me, you would.
Exactly. And here's where it gets interesting. Research shows that people with higher emotional intelligence are actually better at recognizing these patterns.
That's fascinating. So, understanding manipulation actually helps develop emotional intelligence?
Yes, and it works both ways. The more emotionally intelligent you become, the better you get at spotting manipulation attempts.
So, what are some other red flags we should watch out for?
Recent studies highlight several key warning signs, like when someone's actions don't match their words, or when they never take accountability for how their actions affect others.
That disconnect between words and actions seems really important.
It is. Dr. Jennifer Degler's research emphasizes that we should be deaf to what manipulative people say and listen to what they do.
That's such a powerful way to put it.
And here's another interesting finding. Manipulators often use what's called weasel wording to create illusions of clarity while actually being vague.
Like saying, I don't recall that happening instead of outright denying it.
Exactly. Recent psychological studies show this kind of language is a major red flag for manipulation.
So, what should we do when we spot these signs?
Well, according to recent research, one of the most effective strategies is documentation, keeping track of what actually happened.
Like a manipulation diary?
Essentially, yes. Studies show this helps combat gaslighting because you have a record of reality to refer back to.
That makes a lot of sense. What other practical strategies can people use?
Research indicates that maintaining a support network is crucial. Manipulators often try to isolate their targets.
Right, because it's harder to manipulate someone who has other perspectives to check against.
Exactly. And studies show that people with strong support networks are much more resistant to manipulation attempts.
You know what I find interesting? How universal these patterns seem to be.
Yes, research shows these tactics appear across cultures and contexts, from personal relationships to workplace dynamics.
Speaking of workplace dynamics, how does manipulation show up there?
Recent studies have identified a concerning trend of corporate gaslighting, where these tactics are used as power plays in professional settings.
That sounds particularly challenging to deal with.
It is, but the same principles apply. Document everything, maintain emotional neutrality, and keep clear boundaries.
So, as we wrap up, what's the most important thing for people to remember?
According to the latest research, it's this: manipulation works by making you doubt yourself. The strongest defense is maintaining trust in your own perceptions.
That's really powerful. And I love how practical these strategies are.
Yes, and remember, manipulators aren't more skilled than us, they just practice more. We can all learn to spot and stop manipulation.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode. Remember, trust your gut, document reality, and keep those boundaries strong. Your perception is your power.